What's good, Farmer? Good morning. How you doing? How you doing, Farmer? Good morning to everyone, y'all. I said if I don't get this out the way today, then I won't have it out the way today. Just me here to give my brief commentary. And y'all know I'll be brief now. Y'all know I'll be brief. Well, I need to give my brief commentary. What's good, Pillow Talk with Dave? Good morning. Lord Karma, let me introduce you to Pillow Talk with Dave. She is from a different sector, but she comes over here to support me all the time. Pillow Talk with Dave, let me introduce you to Lord Karma. What's good, BB Nice? What is good to J. Lee Chronicles? What's good to everyone? Good morning. Happy Saturday. Yeah, Pillow Talk with Dave. She's a very nice content creator. She came from a different sector, Karma, but she still supports very heavily over here in the B sector. I will thank you for loving me, Pillow Talk with Dave. You know, everybody don't always love me, so I'm glad that somebody out there does. What is good? Straight out of a storyline for content. Salute. Y'all, I'm trying not to be too loud because if I do, then Zulu gonna wake up. But y'all, let me go ahead and tell y'all. Okay, all right, that's fine, BB. I understand. What's good, Gordo? So let me tell y'all about the U-Haul lesbian fake moms in the cold cases, y'all. So what I've witnessed over the last week, and I'm just out here perusing, just looking at videos, giving my opinion and all of this. And y'all, I've seen a few different things, but let me start in a particular order. Hey, JL. Good morning to everybody. Let me start in a particular order. So in a particular order, we're going to talk about Ness because she's been so fixated on me this past week, which is borderline obsessive. And, you know, because I have to report to people in a timely fashion, I make sure that I report everything that's going on here to make sure I got all my ducks in a row. So, to the fake moms out there, which is Ness, I did go ahead and discuss you with the people that I have to discuss everything with these days. You know, whenever you have to sit down and discuss things that might be of concern, Ness, I made sure that I discussed you. And I do have your government name. I do have your phone number. I do have your most recent address. And I'm sure that because you just up and abandoned your last residence the way that you did, that man don't like that. And so I'm sure that if he got any paperwork in the mail regarding you, he would point it to the correct address. So I'm just letting you know that, Ness. But either way, my bed looks better than yours. My life is better than yours. And instead of focusing on what's going on in my life, you really should just focus on what's going on in your son's life. That's it. There should be no reason for you to leave me multiple community wall posts. There should be no reason for you to go live drunk every night mentioning me. There should be no reason for you to be trying to provoke or invoke anything up on this application. But because that's what you are doing, I wanted to make sure that I'll let the property authorities know. And you could take that to the bank. Keep playing. You finally got a new room and you got a bed up in there, your little bed. But keep playing. Keep playing. What's good, just me and everybody? Hey, Sally O'Malley, good morning. Yeah, please like my video. So that's what I had to say about Ness. Like, Ness, I said what I said in my video. That's what I feel. There ain't nothing that you could say or do to change it. There is no teeth picture, no teeth anything, no bed frame, none of this stuff that you can do to change what I said. I said what I said. Period. It's not going to change. Now to the U-Haul lesbians, y'all. So, do y'all know? Y'all come close. Come close now. Good morning, y'all. Get y'all coffee cups and come close. Do y'all know that Ness and this heat have been trying to finagle with each other? And y'all, it's such a U-Haul lesbian thing that I'm witnessing with them too, where it's going to immediately crash and burn. And I saw that for my own eyes, or with my own eyes last night, child. So I got up in there. First off, Pizarro messy self was bringing it to the forefront. But y'all know Pizarro be lying sometimes. So you never know whether to believe Pizarro or not. But Pizarro all this week kept saying that there was something going on, that they were an item and things like that. And so I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, I don't know. I said, I think Pizarro just reaching. Nah, Pizarro was right, y'all. So they got something going on behind the scenes. But what I've noticed is that they have quickly escalated from talking on StreamYard to talking on FaceTime. They have quickly escalated in being on live after live on Ness channel with both of them up there. But one other thing that happened last night is that they got up in at least about 6 or 7 arguments, y'all. 6 or 7. Now, how you just started conversing with somebody within the last 2 weeks and y'all arguing? And y'all arguing in public? Because I don't know why they don't realize that this YouTube application is the public. Y'all, they up there fussing about the smallest things. Ness told this heat to shut the fuck up. Ness said, shut the fuck up. What you ain't gonna do. This heat was trying to give her point of view. Ness said, shut the fuck up, bitch. What you ain't gonna do. And then this heat was like, Ness, what are you talking about, Ness? What are you talking about? I'm just over here having vegan meat and vegan tea. Y'all, they over there arguing about who is the best content creator up in the sector. They over there arguing about whether or not this heat actually talked about Ness lip with Kimmy. They over there arguing. They over there arguing about veganism because Ness want to eat meat. And this heat said that meat is not good for you. They are arguing about what types of vegetables that animals actually eat because Ness is eating animals. Y'all, they arguing about Pizarro and the spaceship. They arguing about religion. This heat said, I hate that person. I hate that person. And Ness said, you can't hate them. And this heat said, wait a minute, I can hate them. We don't even have the same religious belief. If I want to say that I hate that person, I can hate that person. It's really just a little bit cringe-worthy watching it. But y'all, it's like watching a train wreck. Ness said that she coming out to California. She going to visit this heat on the guise of visiting her family. But meanwhile, this heat had to let Ness know that where Ness is visiting in California is like 10 hours. It's like 10 hours away from where this heat actually stays. Ness, I guess Ness doesn't understand geography to the point to where if you do understand geography and you look at a map, you can clearly tell that California is the largest state on the map. It's a tie between California and Texas, but for the most part, California is quite large. This heat lives on the south coast of California. Ness's family lives in the north coast of California. And Ness is saying that she about to make a trip to visit her family that live in North California and that she want to see this heat. And this heat had to remind her that there was still about a 9 or 10 hour drive that Ness will have to do to get over there. But again, my question is, if Ness is planning to go and visit her family, why is she not planning to take her son so that her son can see these people? This is whenever I say that y'all enable fake mothers. And so that's where I'm going to get to the next portion of my commentary. Y'all enable fake mothers to be ain't shit and y'all don't give a damn. Y'all don't give a damn. Oh, thank you for that 300. 300 said actually Alaska is the biggest state in the union. I appreciate that. You know something? I always forget about Alaska. It's weird because Alaska and Hawaii were added so later on down the line. I forget about them because they are not right there in the main map. But you might be right about that. I didn't get to fact check it, but you might be right. But anyway, Ness is making all these plans, being a U-Haul lesbian about going to visit California, talking about she going to visit her family under the guise of trying to go visit this heat. But she ain't trying to take her son with her to go visit family. Ness talking about trying to do all of this. But meanwhile, what I find very crazy about Ness, and that's why I just really feel sorry for her. At this point, I ain't even dragging her. I'm just saying I feel sorry for her because when somebody is so delusional and loses sight of their own responsibility, that's so problematic. When they do that and they have a child that they should be keeping as number one priority, but instead they live life like they don't even have this responsibility whatsoever, that is so problematic. It's very problematic. And the thing that I notice about the beef sector is the beef sector will get on here and drag a man for doing this very same shit. But then say that it's okay for Ness and other fake mothers like Ness to do this to their children because they took the hard way out to give up their child in order for their child to have happiness and stuff like this. No, because at some point, the end goal should be to get your child back. At some point, the end goal should not be to let time pass you by and you not have experience with your child. The end goal is that when you're talking about going to California to visit family, you should be taking your child with you so that he can see his cousins and things like that. The end goal is to bring your child with you and perhaps you can finally take him to Disneyland. But instead, you worried about trying to get there and you 10 hours away from the bitch that you're trying to fuck. Deanna, they told me, Deanna, that was the hard way. Specifically, Fates, Yaya, and Pizarro didn't really say it, but Fates did. Fates said that the hardest thing that a mother could do is sacrifice her child when she knows that she's not capable of raising the child. But my thing is, if the mother knows that she is not capable of raising the child, then don't bring that child here. Because the child honestly doesn't come here to be given up to any old body. The child does not expect to come here to be separated from the mother for the last 5 or 6 years. Make that make sense. But then we can hear people giving commentary about these men not doing anything. Pizarro quick to get up on her live and say that only 1% of black men take care of their kids. Meanwhile, night after night, she have this black woman who ain't taking care of hers right there. And they saying, oh, well, she did what she could do and gave up that child. Hey, Castro. Hey to everybody. Planning vacations without your child. Like, if it's 365 days in a year. And if you are not taking care of your child those 365 days, the least you could do is be making arrangements to bring your child on vacation with you. But we ain't even seeing that. We're not even seeing that. She talking about how she about to go to California and all this. Oh, Deanna, girl. So Ness has started dating or started YouTube dating this heat. And so Ness is smitten at this point and is hell bent to travel from Seattle, Washington to California so that she could see this heat. She also said that she had family that already lived. Well, I know you don't. Ness said that she got family that already live in California and that she just planned to go and visit her family, and then that way she'll see this heat as well. But my question is if you are going to take a trip to visit your family in California, why are you not concerned about bringing your son with you? Because your son is in Seattle, Washington, staying with your brother, which he has been doing for the last 4 or 5 years. And now you talking about making a trip to California to see family is what Ness says. So why don't you bring the little boy with you? Well, no, it's because she trying to go and see this heat. Right, Deanna. She trying to go to see this heat, but she done forgot all about her son. And all I'm trying to figure out is how do women do that? And how do women excuse it? And that's the fake mom's part of this, because many women love to get on here and do a drag and talk about how they are a mother and they are this and they are that, as if that puts them above the next bitch. And the next bitch thought about parenting. But meanwhile, you planning trips and trying to take flights without your seed in mind. Honestly, that is pathetic. That is pathetic. And so I listened to Ness's live last night after Pizarro's live. I listened to Ness. I left and went over to Mo3 sector. I think I was there listening to them argue and stuff. It was good, y'all. VS had clicked the link, girl. VS over there fighting for her life with them people, child. VS was over there fighting for her life, but I listened. But this morning I got up and I'm like, well, wait a second. Let me go back and listen to this live that Ness did. And Deanna, what I was stating earlier up in the live is that they argued about 6 times within a 2-hour live. And they only been conversing for like 2 weeks. From what I know. They only been conversing for like 2 weeks. And you getting up in these arguments. And it's the craziest arguments ever. And then this heat getting mad. They cuss each other out. Ness getting mad and trying to check this heat. Ness said that she wear the strap on up in that relationship and this heat need to shut the fuck up. Y'all, it's doing it. They were giving all this stuff. All this stuff. Yeah. Deanna, I mean, I'm sure if other people saw it, then they saw it. This heat is mad because Ness relapsing, Deanna. Let me tell you this. You got to get this tea right here, Deanna. So I guess because they kept arguing a little bit within the beginning of the live, maybe about the first 30, 40 minutes, this heat said she basically addressed the concern with Ness. And she said, what, have you been drinking? Have you been drinking? What's going on? And Ness said, you know, I drink whiskey sours and I don't have my sour mix and I can't drink straight whiskey. So I rolled up. This heat said, oh, okay, that explains it. So essentially, we are witnessing Ness relapse with her drug addictions that she went to the rehab to get away from. She's relapsing. And it appears that it is altering her in such a way that this heat, who has only been dealing with her for about 2 weeks, notices the change and the difference in her behavior. But again, why are you rolling up when your main priority should be getting your son back? Why are you rolling up when your main priority should be trying to make sure that you can go on vacation, but you can bring your child with you? Why are you rolling up when your main priority should be that if you going to California to visit family that you ain't seen in a while, that you should be bring your child with you? Maybe he want to go to Disneyland. Maybe he want to go over there and visit and see his cousins. I mean, who knows? But these are the fake mothers. And this is the mess that I be talking about. This is the mess I be talking about. Miss Oe Star, that mess was crazy. The fact that she was just able to pinpoint that Ness was not acting like how she thought Ness should act, and Ness was like, yeah, I rolled up. And this heat sounded disappointed as hell. Oh, that figures. What's good, Trinity? Good morning to everybody. And so yeah, that's a train wreck that's on the horizon. If y'all don't know about it, peek in from time to time, because something is going to happen over there in that area, I believe. Because I feel like two women had a conversation on the StreamYard, led to changing emails, and then changing phone numbers, and then doing FaceTimes every night. And now they realizing that they are not compatible. But I mean, how can a meat-eating Christian ever think that she could be compatible with a vegan atheist? Make that make sense. Make that make sense. I mean, I'm sure that there is a small percentage of the population that may be able to coexist in a relationship like that. But for the most part, when you look at stuff at the surface, that stuff don't work. That stuff don't work. Ness believe in God. This heat don't. Ness eat meat. This heat don't. Ness don't take care of her kid. This heat get on here and drag Pizarro for being on the live and not taking care of her kids. I mean, if we really just look at the parallels going on in this situation, they should already know that this is set up for failure. And they are letting it play out right here up on the internet. And I just have to say, I don't have nothing but time and opportunity up on my hands during my free time to where I'm going to watch it all play out. Yeah, please like the video. So I'm just watching it all play out, y'all. So then the last portion of my live. What's good, Treasure? Yeah, I am on early. Treasure, Ness and this heat got an entanglement going on. They was over there on the live. They got into a couple of arguments about whether you can hate people but believe in God, because this heat don't believe in God. It's just a whole mess. So it's a train wreck, James. So if you actually do need to watch something in your spare time, go watch that, because it's very funny to see. Very funny to watch it play out. Now Ness ready to get a plane ticket to go to California to see this heat. But she ain't now mentioned about taking her son so that her son can visit their relatives in California too. It's a mess. It's almost like when women just have a baby only to spit it out and act like the baby didn't even exist. Ness was arguing with me on Pizarro's earlier this week. And do you know that she had a nerve to tell me, like she was dragging me, had a nerve to tell me that she know what her son ate for dinner because she FaceTime with him. Now, for all the parents out here, especially the real mothers, not the fake ones, press 1 if you have to know what your child ate for dinner by FaceTiming them. Or are you the one that's actually feeding them? The fact that she thought that she was giving me a decent read and a drag by saying that she FaceTime with her son when he was eating dinner, y'all, I could have fell the fuck over. Cause I'm like, you FaceTimed with him to see that he was eating dinner. What that mean that you're not even able to be around him when he eat? You FaceTime with him. What that mean that somebody else fed him because you wasn't in the room. You wasn't in the vicinity. You wasn't in the location. You FaceTime with him to make sure that he ate. That means that you were not present, which is all that I have been saying since me and Ness done started arguing. Because that's another thing. Me and Ness had a cordial friendship at one point. So I know her inadequacies because she told me about them. And this was off of this social media application. So it's crazy to me. Ness is under the impression that me and her done fell out because she is dealing with this heat. Would y'all, we all know that not to be the case because I live in Atlanta. I'm currently dating a woman since the end of November of last year. I don't have no reason to be mad at Ness for finding her happiness. But my problem is whenever you think that you find your happiness, but you forget the main goal of the reason why you went to rehab in the first place. My problem is your main goal was to get your son back, and now your goal is totally changing, all because you think that you might be smitten with somebody. My problem is that I'm starting to feel like that Ness really is not serious about getting her son back, and that's unfortunate. Because for a couple of years, I believed that that was her goal. I thought that her main goal was for her to get clean and sober and stop using substances and get on her feet to get him back in a stable living situation with her. And what I'm noticing is her actions totally remove her so much further from that in which she first said her goal was. I agree, Deanna. I agree. But that was my thing. But now that me and Ness done fell out behind it, her justification is I'm jealous that she is talking to this heat. Her justification is that I am jealous because she let this heat up on her StreamYard and they have chemistry and all this. Girl, I don't give a damn whatsoever. But what I'm looking at and seeing is that somebody is lying. Like Ness will get on here and beg for the cash out. For example, 2 or 3 nights ago, y'all, Ness got on the live. She might have been drunk at that time. I really don't know. She begged for the cash out from her people so that she could buy a pizza because she wanted to eat pizza that night. And I dropped down up in her chat and I said, how you going to feel comfortable or something along these lines. It might not have been the exact word, the exact verbiage. But I said, how you getting cash outs to get pizza? Meanwhile, you don't know what your son ate. This shit don't make sense. I ain't never seen her come on here and ask for cash outs for her son's birthday. I ain't never seen her come on here and ask for cash outs to get him something for Christmas. I ain't never seen her come on here and ask for the cash apps to get him a school uniform. I've never seen her come on here begging with him in mind. Meanwhile, she stays coming on here begging. And this is whenever I truly was realizing, like, look here, you don't have him in mind at all. Because you want to eat a pizza. But meanwhile, he living with other people in your family and you don't even know what he ate. Maybe he wanted a pizza. The fuck? Just unfit. Just priorities all in the wrong area. But then to be quick to come on here and try to drag people about their parenting or try to drag people about them not taking care of their own kids. But this shit, it's crazy. What's good, Siobhan, in the Truth Whisperer? The Truth Whisperer said that said her child may have a better chance of being a solid person being raised with someone else. Well, I agree with that. I agree with that. But at the same time, if you know that you brought a whole individual person up in this world and you gave up on that to let somebody else take care of it for you, then you shouldn't be on here thinking that you could roast, drag, or read anyone. Yesterday on Pizarro's, Ness had a nerve to tell me about she need to know when I had my most recent dentist appointment. Well, my most recent dentist appointment is none of her concern. But who she should be worried about is the most recent dentist appointment of her son. It baffles me. The nerve of some of these fake moms, fake mothers that come on here. You worried about whenever I last went to the dentist. No, worry about when your son went to the dentist last. Because to be honest, the only person that you should be worried about their dentist appointment is his. Correct, Deanna, correct. Because last night, her and this Heat had got into the argument because this Heat said that Ness was acting funny up on the live, and Ness said that it was because she had rolled the blunt. And I guess she done jumped off the wagon. She been drinking whiskey sours and smoking weed after she did all of this rehab that we all supported her with doing. Maybe Deanna didn't. Maybe Deanna and James didn't support her. But we all supported her in her endeavor of the rehab, hoping that she was going to get in the right direction. Only for last night up on the live, no, she trying to drink whiskey sour and get drunk, and she smoking weed that made this Heat mad. And y'all know I can't stand this Heat. But I was listening to it, and this Heat had a point. This Heat was kind of just like over it. This Heat went on with the show, but her vibrato in the things that she, or the way that I've typically seen them interact on the live, was a little different. There was a lot of conflict and confrontation going on. And y'all, I sat on my cloud and I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. What's good, Mr. LLL? So yeah, that right there just baffled me. But let me get on to my last part of this about the cold cases, y'all. So in this sector here, in the beef sector, several content creators have found out about a cold case, and now they are thoroughly researching, doing their investigation, trying to figure out the meat and the potatoes of it. I have to be honest and say that when I see people have posted stuff like news clippings or a news video about it from NBC or ABC or whoever was covering it at that time, I take the time to actually watch it because I'm curious about it. Because when Shelly and I were cool, Shelly briefly mentioned this to me. And what I'm noticing, y'all, is that a lot of the stuff that Shelly told me may not have been accurate. And Pizarro was even like, well, J.Dunn, you had already knew about it. You had already saw the article. No, I didn't. Because I heard people talking about this particular cold case situation in the past, yes. But Shelly would pick up the phone and call me and be like, you see what so-and-so and so is doing about this? And I'd be like, yeah, I saw. And she'll be like, they are lying. This is what happened. And she'll give me her own version of it. Meanwhile, I didn't even know the name of her son or the name of the young lady who passed away. I didn't know the name of any of these people to be researching them to go and read an article. But Pizarro, for whatever reason, think that I knew already. No, Shelly told me that it was inaccurate. Shelly even went as far as trying to sue Kwani about it. And if you don't believe me, you can ask Jason. Now, I know many people up in this sector don't fuck with Jason, and that's fine. But the most that I knew about this situation up until this past week, when people been like dropping all this information and tea about what really happened, the name of the lady who got killed, the name of Shelly's son, and all this kind of stuff. Prior to them dropping that this past week, y'all, the only thing that I knew was that Kwani was talking about it initially. Shelly got pissed off. Shelly hit up Jason to see if Jason could help her file the paperwork against Kwani about talking about her son, which several times in the past lives, I mentioned that. It's not my fault if y'all don't believe me. It's not my fault if y'all don't listen to my videos. It's not my fault. But the only thing that Shelly really told me was that what I was hearing online was not true. And she showed me. We did the StreamYard. You know how Shelly be like, let's go behind the scenes. Let's go behind the scenes or behind the stage or whatever. After the live was over, Shelly stayed on the live and asked me to stay on the live, the behind the scenes, quote unquote. And she turned on her camera and she showed me some paperwork, legal paperwork that she was filing against Kwani. And she told me that Jason assisted her in getting this legal documentation against Kwani because Kwani kept speaking about this situation with her son and that lady that passed away, the girl that passed away. Well, Deanna, when I looked at the articles that were actually published by the news outlets, they have said that this is still considered a cold case because they don't know if the girl was pushed out the car or if she got out on her own free will. And to be honest, that's the only part of this story that has not been solved. Because yes, the Mack truck did hit the girl, but they found the person who hit her. They found the truck and they found the driver in North Carolina. I found the article where it stated that. But still, the articles are saying, how did she wind up on the interstate when it was nighttime? How did she wind up on the busiest highway in the DMV when it was nighttime? So there was still question on whether or not the girl was pushed out. And that's all I know. And I read that up in an article. I'm not giving hearsay. I read an article. But whenever I was cool with Shelly, the only thing that Shelly told me about it was that all of this stuff that people were saying was incorrect. And that she showed me paperwork when she was trying to go at Kwani. And she was having Jason try to help her go at Kwani. And she really thought she was going to be able to get Kwani hemmed up after Jason got Tracy hemmed up the way that he did whenever he got Tracy locked up. Then that's whenever Shelly was really excited, thinking that Jason really knew what he was talking about in order for her to go at Kwani. So, y'all, that's all I knew about that. So Pizarro was over there, was like, well, you didn't want to do no coverage about this before. Well, I didn't know nothing about it before except for the fact that Shelly said what the people were saying was lies. And she showed me paperwork where she was trying to get Kwani taken to court for defamation. So if she's showing me court paperwork where she's trying to take Kwani to court for defamation and slander, why would I not believe what she is saying? Because clearly some people up in the court of law is believing something. Now, in hindsight, could the paperwork have been doctored? Yes. But I don't think that it was, because later on, I ended up having the opportunity to speak with Jason, where he clicked my link after me and Shelly had fell out. And I asked Jason if he had tried to assist Shelly in trying to do all that against Kwani. And Jason told me yes. Jason said that he did. The different steps that he did in order to get Tracy in trouble was the same steps that he told Shelly to do in her own state so that Shelly could get Kwani. Now, he confirmed that to me. And even back then, Pizarro was like, what you doing with the racists on your platform? Well, back then, I was asking the quote-unquote racist, but his name is Jason. I was asking him about this case back then to see if it was true what Shelly had told me, that Shelly was using him to help her go at Kwani about this situation. But just the fact of me having a conversation with Jason meant that I was selling out to him and all this kind of stuff. No. Even back then when I had Jason on my platform, I had questions about the validity of what I knew about this situation. And so now, because these other content creators are bringing it back up to the surface, y'all, I'm just reading the articles and I'm just looking at the news clips. That's all I'm doing. Then in Pizarro's last night, people up in the chat talk about they're going to call my probation officer because I'm reading about the cold case. Excuse me. Me reading about a damn cold case, which is public information, is not a crime. And for the people that keep wanting to threaten to do that, if y'all are those same ones that's talking about Dovey was silly as hell to call the cops in Dovey, I'm not calling you silly. I'm talking about what I've heard other people say. The same folks are saying how silly Dovey was to call the cops while on the live, talking about her being in fear for her life, then saying that she lied about the entire thing. But these same folks that's saying that Dovey did this type of stuff are the same people that's encouraging other people to call my probation officer because I'm reading about the cold case that other people are doing commentary about. The same people who said that Dovey is spreading false information to the police officers and she should be locked up for it and she should be penalized are the same motherfuckers that think that it's really logical to say that they can call a probation officer on me to get me in trouble because I'm listening to people speak about this particular homicide that happened, potential homicide, or I don't know if it was a homicide. I don't know if it was a suicide. I don't know if it was an accident. I don't know what it was. But it's baffling to me that they will condemn Dovey for calling the police because she feared for her life. But then in the same breath, turn around and try to call a probation officer who is still a police officer. Let's not get it twisted. He's still a law officer to try to tell him that I violated probation because I'm reading about a cold case. Child, bye. Child, bye. The same ones that saying that Dovey is calling in line are the same ones that have been trying to call and lie already with me. Oh, and hey, something sweet. Hey to everybody, y'all. Hey, well, looky. The same ones. And it's just like, oh, so y'all mad that Dovey calling and lying to the police. Meanwhile, y'all applauded when people wrote letters with lies in it to judges. Y'all applauding when people trying to call and lie to probation officers who is still a police officer. Like, these people are weird. They are weird. And I was trying to make them aware of this crazy ass hypocrisy that I'm witnessing. But y'all, sometimes when people don't even want to see the truth and they don't want to have knowledge, then they don't. They don't. And please like my video. But yeah, y'all, so I briefly went through the 3 things that I want to hit on up in this live. What's good, Rhonda? So I talked about the cold case and my knowledge of it based on what Shelly told me. And that's really all that I knew about it because she was about to sue Kwani behind it. Yeah, she did. She did something sweet. She sent that to my mail. And she knows she did that. Even the couple of times where she's been confronted about it, her story has always changed. But you have to know, because when I got those sent to me in the mail and I put my report in, you better know that I have that same report that I showed to my probation officer, even if she tries something, because she tried to sabotage me from the jump. But y'all see, if I wasn't a thorough person, because y'all thought that I was frivolously calling the police officer on Shelly. No, it was me getting my paper trail. Because At this point now, even with her trying to play with calling my probation officer to try to get me in trouble for like stupid shit, I have the paper trail of when I reported her for her behavior twice already before I was ever on probation. Before I was ever on probation. Before I was ever on probation, I reported her twice for the threat that she called on my phone, and I have it recorded, and for her sending that through my mail. As many times as people say, oh, the B sector, y'all better quit calling the cops and all this kind of stuff. The 2 times that I called on Shelly was times well called, because now I have the documentation prior to even being on any type of probation to show what she had already been doing prior to any of this. It's about protecting y'allself. And I mean, as much as you think that it's frivolous, that's what it's about. So I always have that documentation to show this person was already bothering me even before I had any of this. What's good there, Lady Low? Even before I had any of this lady, I got 2 incident reports already about what she has been doing. And that's just that. But it's a lot of people. It's a lot of people on here that think that she has the power to come at me or do this to me because I'm reading about the cold case, or because I'm looking at a video about the cold case, or because I'm listening to other people do commentary about the cold case. I mean, hell, it's very interesting. It's very interesting because I thought that most of it was a lie. I never knew that there was an actual video from the news about this incident. I never knew that there were actual news articles printed out there on the World Wide Web to read about this incident. And I never knew it because I never knew the name of the people involved. I never even asked Shelly about the name of the people involved because that's very invasive of somebody's space, somebody's grieving process, or whatever she might have had going on. So I never did say, well, what's the name of your son, or what's the name of the girl, so that I could look it up. No, I just took her word for it. But now that we got these other content creators that's dropping all of these actual news articles and all this stuff out here about it, I'm reading it and I'm thinking to myself, okay, this is interesting. And it also makes me think to myself, because when Jason came to my platform, y'all, and I asked him about Shelly trying to get paperwork on Kwani about this situation because she didn't like Kwani speaking on it. Jason was telling me that he was upset because Shelly didn't follow through after he had spent so much time giving her the resources and trying to help her build this case around Kwani. And this was all on a public live. This wasn't no behind the scenes bull mess. This was on a public live. And now that I'm reading these articles, it makes me think, well, the reason why Shelly probably dropped that case against Kwani was not because she didn't want to follow through like Jason thinks it is, but it could have very well been because she knew that she didn't have a leg to stand on because of all these articles out here about this situation. What's good, little boss lady in DC and Deborah Mayo? Like, she probably didn't continue to pursue Kwani because she knew that all this information was out here, y'all. People here are now finding out that the articles say that according to the police officers and detectives and things like that, that they still have not determined if the girl was pushed out the vehicle or if she got out on her own. And to be honest, the only people that would know the answer to that are 2 people, and one of them are dead. So Unfortunately, if she was forced out, the only person that could have said that is the one who is dead, y'all. But the one fact is, that is what the article said. They still don't, they still have not concluded that she got out of that car by herself, that she did it on her own free will, that she demanded to be let out of the car. So it's something to think about. I'm doing well, Dara Mayo. Thank you. I hope you're doing okay too. So yeah, but anyway, y'all, let me get off here. But yeah, that's about as much as I know about the cold case, or what I did know, and I only knew based on what Shelley told me. But when I thought she was suing Kwani, I'm like, okay, all of it is bullshit. Because if you about to sue a person and you showing me the paperwork on the StreamYard, the backstage, you know how after you end the StreamYard, you can click in live, but the people could still be right there. And she turned on her camera and showed me some papers, some court papers about Kwani and this. So I left it alone because I'm like, okay, well, it must be some lies. She got court papers about it, so it got to be some lies. But now that I'm reading stuff, I don't know what to believe. But either way, like the video. If you're catching the replay, like the video. Y'all have a great Saturday morning. Thank y'all for joining me. And y'all take care, be blessed, don't stress. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.